Hey there, welcome back. This is my third narrated video, so again, bear with me, I'm learning how to do this thing. Today's flight is a ground-hugging, more dynamic flight than the last one we did. We did a recent flight on mission with GPS, but this one is a little different in that it required full manual control the entire time and a great deal of concentration to maintain your altitude and speed. So we started this out with a hold position so I could check my flight control surfaces and make sure everything was ready, and we were going to go run the ditches. So hang on, here we go. Coming in fairly low. You'll notice that the GPS altitude is a little bit off. That's because it's based on sea level and I need to figure out how to calibrate this thing or to get it relative to my takeoff altitude. So here's a shot of us coming in low over the drainage district's levee system, and it really is cool to come in at this height and speed. You really have to be on your game and keep an eye on where you're at. Things happen very quickly when you're down low, but it definitely shows your speed when you're at that low altitude. You keep an eye on the speed here. It's about 67, 70 miles an hour, and you'll notice the GPS says I'm below sea level. It may be true, but relative to the surrounding ground, I'm a little higher than that. It's probably 10 feet off. Decide to pull a little loop here. See how my plane's holding up. It's a very aerobatic plane and it's quite fast, but I generally don't push it like that. So here's a second flight I did to run the ditches again, but this time even lower. The first one was just kind of a test. I was able to get in about 5 feet lower than the last run. But I really enjoy this type of flying. And again, I do this in open pasture or over forests where it's safe to do so. But I've found a hobby I really enjoy. Here's a sharp banking turn, and we're gonna come back around and shoot the gap through those trees again and follow the ditches off to the north here shortly. There we go. It's a great time of day to fly because there's no wind to complicate matters. It's just pure flying with the wind that you create under the wings. I'll go for another pass. I really like this view. Swing around low. Again, I think I'm about 10 foot off on that GPS reading. In this case, I'm probably about 10 or 12 feet altitude, showing me below sea level. But I'm working on calibrating this thing to try and get it to hello bird. I don't know if you saw that bird fly by. He referenced to the altitude that I took off at. Probably be a little safer that way. So taking our final loop around the property here, and you see that the surrounding area is a little bit higher than the plane, as these ditches are, I don't know, they're probably about 8 feet deep, like Star Wars. So this is my approaching the final run into the runway, and start losing some speed and concentrating on the landing protocol, which involves a couple of things that I have to do, including cut the engine so I don't rip the props off. And coming in for a final, and kill the power, and coast in. Landed on the grass, and I like that. Thanks for coming.